So we hit a
Okay.
problem. We are in Austin and we're out of gas. We actually did our shakeout prior to, but we're out of gas. Can't make this up.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't sound like that.
Jaden! Let's go, Chris! Come on, Chris! Come on, Chris! There you go! Get it back, Chris! There you go, get out! Make it count! Come on, Chris! There you go! Come on, Chris! Give it back! Woo!
Anaya Brigham, 23.26. Christine Mallard, 23.50.
Hi, this is Christine in present time of June, and this is just me after around a month after state. So basically, after I kind of delayed this video a little bit because I wanted to get my thoughts together, and I really wanted to make sure that everything was kind of in tune with what I was thinking in this present day, and also having bigger meets coming up in very soon in June. So for me, I think when it came to state was a very, very good experience, and also had some very, very not so good experiences. And so for me, this being my last year, I can kind of take you kind of through the journey and what went on and what happened and what so forth. So with it being the state meet, I think initially I was going into it for me wanting to win all 3 gold. And that was also a very high goal to reach. And so for me, I knew that I could really do well trying to win all 3 gold in the 100, 200, and the 400 meters. So for what happened initially was that I think, I'm just gonna get this out of the way. Here's what happened in the 100 meters. So I false started. It happens, but I think for me, what happened was that I was just, you know how you get so focused and tunnel vision on something, you're more bound to make mistakes. I think that's kind of what happened with me in the 100. And of course, with the 100 meters, I just kind of fell. The gunner didn't even go off. But I'm going to tell you what, they were holding us for a very long time. But that's not really an excuse anyway. I should have not anticipated the gun. I should have waited. But regardless of that, I feel like after that, you kind of think, well, hey, you have two more chances to run. It's for me, I was in a different case because it's not like I was limited in the events that I could run. So of course, coming back on the 400, at that point, I was really just trying to be like, just make it through the race. Like, just make it through one race. So when I finally won the 400 meters, I think for what I wanted and what I expected of myself was 52 or better, PR or better. And I think I always put this very, very high expectation on myself. And when that didn't happen, it's not that I wasn't upset. I mean, I won the 400 meter dash. It's just kind of like hollow in a sense to where what I wanted was achieved. I got the not state record, but the state championship, but it wasn't the time that I wanted either. And then in the 200 meters, I think for me, and of course with my training and having a lot of issues with my training coming up to state meet, and as well as a lot of issues with other aspects of track and everything else, I think I just wasn't able to perform speed-wise the way that I would have liked to. So now that I'm looking at my final state meet, I can say that I am happy with it. I think the competitive side of me would say otherwise. But I think for what I wanted to do and what I want, where I want to be, say, in my track career, I have to understand that I need to give myself a lot of credit. And I also have to realize that things happen and things like this probably happen, and God probably has a place for me. And for me, that just wasn't the time to do it. It wasn't the time for me to go do what I believe that I knew I could do, considering I've done it before. So for me, I think it just wasn't the time. And so now that I'm looking back on it, the first few days after, I was just very upset and disappointed. But it's like, how can you be disappointed with the state championship? Like, you won an event, you won your race. But for me, it's just not in me to settle. And it's not like you were settling for anything. I just think for my expectations of myself, doing this for a hot minute, because I also have to consider the fact I only started track when I was 13 years old. So for track people, that's considered very late. Very late. Like, some people started this when they were 9, 10 years old, like when they were just born out of the fetus. Like, some people started this a long, long time ago. And for me, I think it's like you want to be on that same level as other people that have been doing this for a long time as well. And I think for what I wanted at the state meet, I won the meet, but it's like, I wanted more than that. So what I think I had to learn and understand is that I have a national record at AAU Junior Olympics in the 400. That was a 9-year record. I have to give myself credit for that. I got the 400 meter state championship, 5A state championship. I have to give myself credit for that. I was able to win 3 golds in the region 4A, 5A championship. I did that. No other athlete was able to do that. Not with good times, mind you. So for me, I think going forward with this, I think what I have to unlearn and understand is that I'm still growing and I'm still learning. And I think with track, of course, it's like one of the most humbling sports ever. It's like there are some days where you're feeling on top of the world, and there are other days where you're just at some point you want to quit. And so I think for me, this last final state meet, it just gave me the lesson that this is a stepping stone for some bigger things. This is a stepping stone and a learning experience for bigger things. I finally got a state championship. That was one of my goals that I wanted, and I got that. So I think now, being 18, because it turns out when we were traveling, coming to Austin, that was the day of my birthday. Fun fact. But for me, I think where I want to go and where I want to be, it's just going to take a lot of time and, of course, take a lot of dedication, hard work, patience, and effort in order to do that. And I feel like the state meet was just something that helped me open my eyes and realize that I still have a long, long way to go. Because, hey, I'm committed to USC. Fight on. And so for me, I know that when I get to my collegiate season, it's going to be great. When I go to Brooks this summer, June 15th, and New Balance on that same week is going to be great. Because I know that I'm going in with a new mindset of you've accomplished a lot of things in a short period of time compared to other people that have been doing this for almost a whole decade. So for me, it's kind of like one of those things I'm like, on to the next. Bigger and better things are coming. Bigger and better things that do come. I think I will also take those in stride, have myself some humble pie because, you did work hard. You did everything right that you were supposed to do. And now reaping the fruits of your labors. And so now that me being the sprinter that I am, the 4 years that I've had at Legacy have been some really, really good experiences and some not so great experiences. But of course you take all of those in stride and they are what shape you, if that makes any sense. So now that this is the ending of this video, I hope that you'll be able to follow me on this journey because you'll also be seeing a lot more content coming up this summer and coming up into the fall season as well. So thank you for watching this video. Like, comment, and subscribe down below.